Well, it's funny you talked about that.
Yes.
Because I am going to transition to my watch, play, read. Sticking with the Broken Lizard, I have continued I'm going to watch movies I've not seen in a while. Yes. And the first one was Slammin Salmon. So this one came out mid-2010s, somewhere around there. Yeah. So it takes place... 99% of this movie takes place in
09.
Oh, it was 09. Wow. It's been 17 years already. Jesus Christ. So the majority of the movie takes place in one night in a restaurant run by a former heavyweight champion played by Michael Clark Duncan. Mm-hmm. And he makes a bet with a guy who's in the Yakuza, and he needs $20,000 or they're going to take his restaurant. And so he has the staff have to make $20,000 in one night. And so it's just chaos. It is fucking hysterical. If you have ever worked in a restaurant, you will laugh your balls off because it has so many things that are right there with the restaurant industry. Mm-hmm. It has some really cool cameos in it, and it's just fucking insane.
Question, because you would know much better than I, having never worked in a restaurant. I've heard you talk about waiting, and I've heard other people that were servers talk about waiting. Which do you think is closer to the restaurant experience, or are they just kind of different versions of the same story?
So they both have a lot of similarities that are like on par with the restaurant business. Slammin Salmon, I would say, is more overall accurate for one reason. Waiting does the thing of them like spitting and fucking with people's food. I worked in the business for 30 years. I never fucking saw that. I have seen if somebody wants a well done steak and they get it and it's well done, they say it's not cooked enough. I've seen somebody drop it in a fryer just to fucking really make it well done. But no one has ever like spit, and they do that in Waiting. Yeah, which is unfortunate.
It's like one of the tentpole moments in that movie.
And for some reason, every restaurant movie, it's like, dude, people they don't fucking do that. Yeah, okay. Slammin Salmon doesn't have that, but it has the lead cook freaking out when somebody wants something like heated up. It happens every fucking time. Yeah. People that if somebody returns a dessert, they put it on a table and all the servers go and eat the leftover. That's 1,000%. So and it's got like the servers that are banging each other, and you know the server in the beginning gets sat one top at his four top booth. And it's, an expensive restaurant, and the guy's, like, reading a book and orders water. And he's so fucking mad. And, like, all of that shit is 1,000% accurate. I would recommend watching them both. I would say you get more characters in Waiting. That, this is a very tight, you have, like, it's 8 or 9 Lizard characters. Yeah. Well, the Broken Lizard guys, and it has Colby Smulders.
No kidding.
It plays one of the servers. April Baldwin, what's her name? She was in Doom Patrol. She was the actress who explodes.
Oh, yeah.
She was also 2.5 Men. Baldwin, I think.
Yeah, it is Baldwin.
So those two play servers in it, along with the rest of the cast. But then it has Michael Clark Duncan. There's like a cameo by Olivia Munn. Like there's some cameos. Morgan Fairchild and Lance Henriksen are like cameos in it. And then it has all the normal Broken Lizard people in it.
Yeah.
But it's super fucking funny. I highly recommend, especially if you ever worked in a restaurant, you will watch this fucking movie and be like, I know that scene. I know that person. I know these people. I was that server that had a lady friend that I would follow her into the cooler so we could have a little alone time. That happens in this movie. And it's like, all that shit is fucking happens, and it's fucking amazing, and I love it. And it's probably my second favorite Broken Lizard movie. Beer Fest is still my favorite.
Yeah, Beer Fest is hard to beat.
Beer Fest is very hard to beat.
For me, it is, again, a bold narrative choice of the fake-out death of Landfill.
Landfill 2?
The fake-out death of Landfill. I watched that movie under some influences.
Yeah.
And I got to Landfill dying. I was like, I do not remember Landfill dying. And you have that moment where you're like, did a new version of this movie come out? Like, I would remember this happening. And then Landfill 2 shows up, and you're like, oh, fuck, right. And now he just wears a cowboy hat.
And, like, this is an example of good writing, because you're like, we need that push to get them
There needed a big moment.
Yes. And so you have his death, but it's like, but we don't want the character going, just bring in his twin brother, and then have his twin brother say, just call me Landfill.
No, exactly. It's like awesome. If it would make you more comfortable, you can also call me Landfill. It's just so funny, because it is like similar in a weird way to Sum of All Fears.
Yeah.
It is this huge narrative swing that makes the story unique and interesting.
Yep.
But because this is a stupid, raunchy comedy, it doesn't have to matter. Like, you can have that moment and then immediately be like, oh, that was funny. You remember that happened? Here's Landfill. Okay, we're back at it. And it's just like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
To the point where even in the movie, and again, something I love in movies is when characters themselves are like, so we're just never going to talk about that ever again. Mm-hmm. All the guys are just like, Landfill's literally like, just include me like I was the other guy. Mm-hmm. And nobody addresses him any differently the entire rest of the movie. It's perfect.
It's fucking great. So I highly recommend it. It's up there. It's one of my favorites. It's wonderful. So my other movie, I'm so happy. I've been wanting to. So this movie I have not seen in probably over 20 years. It's probably closer to 25 years since I've seen this movie. I have been wanting to see it, and I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and I finally got it. It is a movie from 2000 called Saving Grace. It is
Sounds familiar.
It is written and produced by, co-written and co-produced by Craig Ferguson. Okay. It's a British movie. And I am so grateful that I got it because it's amazing. It is about a woman whose husband dies, and she is like a master gardener, and they live in this beautiful big house. And he has racked up all these debts and left her with no money. So Craig Ferguson is her gardener, and he's trying to grow weed. And he's failing. And so he brings the plants to her. She ends up growing this amazing strain. And he's like, we could fucking sell it, and it'll solve all your problems. And it is fucking amazing. It's a great British comedy.
Yeah.
And it has... Okay, so I'm going to count Death at a Funeral as a British comedy, even though it was directed by Frank Oz. It has my second favorite stoned person scene next to Alan Tudyk in Death at a Funeral. Yeah. That is the best high stoned human being.
Walking out on the veranda naked and just...
And then when he was spitting and then sucking it back up and laugh. That is one of... But this has a scene that Grandma's Boy stole.
Oh, yeah?
Because Grace grew a lot of things, including tea. Oh. So there are these two old ladies that run a shop in the town that go to see her, and she's in London trying to sell the weed, but they see the plants and they think it's tea, so they cut it and they make tea with it. And there's a scene where the guy that runs the bank that's trying to take her house comes to the shop, and it looks like it's empty. And there's this little area where the register is. And he's like, excuse me. And you can just hear little giggles. And they come up. And then they quickly fall down. Then they come up with googly glasses. And one of them is eating cereal. Cornflakes. And she's like, these cornflakes are marvelous. And they're just giggling. And he says, Grace. And she says the line that I always have. Grace, I love her. I really, really love her. And they're just it is one of the funniest high scenes I've ever fucking seen in my life. It is so great. But the movie itself is, it's a very sweet movie, and the friendship between Grace and Craig Ferguson is so Grace is played by, she was a very famous British actor, Brenda Blythen. She got nominated for an Oscar in Two Left Feet. I want to say she was the mother to Daniel Day-Lewis's character in that movie. Okay. But it's got Martin Clunes, who's a very famous British comedian. Same with Bill Bailey, who's been in... he was in Hot Fuzz. He was the one the cop that's like, no one ever tells me nothing.
Yeah, that guy.
That's Bill Bailey.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie... I can't pronounce his name. Checky Cario. Did you ever see the movie Kiss of the Dragon with Jet Li?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, great movie. And he plays the bad guy. He's like a French actor, but he's usually a bad guy in all the movies. Well, he plays this like drug kingpin she tries to sell her drugs to, And there's a big twist at the end with that. I'm not going to give it away because it should be in my voodoo also. I highly recommend watching. I won't give the twist away. But his ending is great. And the whole ending of the movie is this really awesome twist ending to it, which is great. But it's so fucking wonderful. It's just one of those warm blanket movies to where it's British. It's got the very cheeky British humor. Like the doctor... this is back in the day when pot was still very bad.
Yes.
And so the doctor is smoking pot all the time, and he's trying to hide it, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
And, like, all the characters in the town are really funny. And the situations, it's not like a typical American comedy where they got to force it. It's just everything just naturally flows, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it. Saving Grace. If you're into movies that have not come out in the last 10 years, a lot of people like the newer movies. 2000, great movie, highly recommend it.
I really think we're going to get to a point pretty soon where there's going to be like an entire generation that can't watch movies that were made before 2010.
Yeah.
And then they're going to just watch like that movie that just came out with Chris Pratt and Anya Taylor-Joy, Anthony Mackie, and Mr. Peanut.
Oh, not Anya Taylor-Joy, Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Why? I watched that awful thing. Why?
Electric Circus.
Electric State.
It's going to be
Horrible
movies like
movie.
that, where it's just like, it's only for people that have no attention span and only understand references and only very specific Americana references from the last 25 years, usually centered around brands or major tentpole movies. And then you're going to have everybody else who actually watches movies. Yeah. But like, we're going to get like 3 movies a year that are actually going to be
This is what I've been thinking about that too, because this is what I really took from watching the old Siskel and Ebert episodes. There are not a lot of people anymore that understand what a good movie is.
No.
It's like, is it loud? Is it bright? Is it fast? Okay, that's good. No, it wasn't good. It was a shitty movie that just had like some good action scenes or special effects. But overall, it's a fucking dog shit movie. And I know you have love for these movies, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. The prequels for Star Wars.
I have no love for the prequels of Star Wars.
I thought you had a little...
No.
Okay. But like the prequels, there are people now that are like, oh, well, the prequels were good movies. It's like, no, okay.
Maybe
so you
when
can
I
say
was
they
8.
were nostalgic movies.
Yes. See,
they were never good movies.
No, this is my thing, is that I categorically, I haven't liked the prequels since I was 12.
Okay.
And after that, I was like, well, this is stupid. By the time we got to Revenge of the Sith, I liked Attack of the Clones. By the time we got to Revenge of the Sith, I was like, well, this is stupid.
And that's the part that kills me is everyone's like, oh, Revenge of the Sith was one of the best Star Wars movies.
It's not.
That movie's horrible.
It's bad. It's
horrible.
Bad. You know how I know that movie's bad? Is because it has what some people consider one of the best fight scenes in it, and it's a terrible fight scene.
It's a terrible fight scene.
It's a terrible fight scene. The 2 moments that tell me immediately that it's a terrible fight scene are Anakin and Obi-Wan spinning around their lightsabers while they stand 2 inches from each other, like it's a big thing. And then the force push against force push.
Yeah.
Where it's just 2 guys going, ugh! And it's just like, this is so fucking dumb.
It was so bad.
I saw it in theaters and I said, that's stupid. And then I hung out with some kids in high school and they were like, oh, it's so good. And I was like, no, this fucking sucked, man. Like, that was so bad. That was so bad. The prequels, this is why I get so upset when a movie like Spider-Man Homecoming comes out or something, is because you have so many people who will autofill that to be the canon. Now, that is what that is, right? So Star Wars is now this. And it's like, well, can we go back to where Star Wars was something that came out every 10 to 20 years and it was like a big deal and we all loved it because it was a big deal? Really quick before we move on, this is as good a point as any to bring this up. Did you hear that the House of Abrams has fallen?
No.
Bad Robot fired like 1/3 of their employees.
Really?
And they are restructuring themselves and shutting down their massive studios and opening up newer, cheaper studios on the other side of the country. And I would love to say that I'm shocked by this, but I'm not.
No.
And it's because of one very simple, very straightforward premise. A mystery is great. There has to be payoff.
Yep.
You cannot have a mystery for the sake of a mystery and then have no payoff but a new mystery and then no payoff but a new mystery. And that was what Abrams did. And there was never an answer to the mystery, and it was always unsatisfying. Yep. I watched a great video by Dan Merle who went through the history of all the movies that Bad Robot produced. And you're just like, it's this recurring theme of set up a mystery with no payoff. Set up a mystery, no payoff. Yep. Set up a mystery, no payoff. And so by the time you get to Star Wars, that works for the first one. Set up a mystery. But I didn't realize this. Apparently, one of the reasons Abrams didn't follow this through was because by the time they were finishing Force Awakens, they had already started pre-production on Last Jedi.
Oh.
And so Disney was trying really hard to get these out as fast as possible, which meant that you had to have entirely different teams running each movie, which meant that there was no stability between each movie as far as like, okay, so Abrams is going to come in and set up all these things, and then Rian Johnson's going to come in and be like, I fucking hate this. I'm tearing the whole thing out by the screws, and we're going to start all over again. And not only are we starting all over again, I'm tearing out some of the stuff from the original Star Wars, too. You know what? Fuck it.
Canon.
I'm just ripping everything out, okay? We're just going to start all over again. And it's just like, okay. And then you bring back Abrams, and Abrams' answer is Palpatine?
He's Abrams' answer is, this is the end of my career. And that's what The Last Jedi, The Last Jedi, or not The Last Jedi,
The Final
The Rise
Skywalker.
of Skywalker. That was his end of his career.
I wish it was called The Final Skywalker.
I wish it was,
That would make it a better movie.
Yeah.
No, anytime I see that clip of Poe just being like, somehow Palpatine returned. I'm just like, God, it's not even written well.
It's like, how could you pay Oscar Isaac to say that?
How can any of this have happened?
Yeah.
Why did you let any of this happen, Kathleen Kennedy? How is this your plan? Anyway, we're not going to get into a Kathleen Kennedy off.
Or a Star Wars off.
Oh, no.
Anytime I get a chance to bash Star Wars, I love it.